My fellow Jianxin mains, gather around because in this video I will be explaining every possible set you can use for Jianxin on every build, and doesn't matter if you want to build her DPS, sub DPS, healer, shielder, I will explain how all her builds work. Now first, most important thing that a lot of people have been asking is what does Jianxin's shield scale with? It scales with her attack. All her abilities, her shielding, her healing, her damage, everything scales with her attack. That is the first thing that I'm going to let you guys know already. Now, this plays a very important role on how we are going to build her, depending on what kind of sword you want to build her with. Because there are actually builds that are really good for Jiangxin, but nobody really realizes it. So let's start off with her build for a shielder, healer, or sub DPS. Now, if you're gonna want to build Jiangxin as a healer, this set, I'm not gonna pronounce it because I have no clue, but this set is actually pretty good. However, it is also kind of hard to pull off because you need to use your passive, she needs to be on field and make sure that she gets that charge attack off, and then her shield, and then her healing. It is kind of complicated to use, or not necessarily complicated, just kind of difficult, but it does work. So this set is good if you, especially if you want to buff your DPS to the maximum, because you do get the 50% free attack. Of course, this means that I'm expecting you to not have Verena as a healer or anything, but I wouldn't highly recommend it. But I did put it in this video because it does work. Now quickly, the stats that you're looking for as a healer build for Jiangxin would be on the number 4 Echo. You could use healing bonus, but potentially attack would be better because that way you will also get more a better shield. So, but you do you go whatever you want. On the number 3s, attack will be recommended too. Well, to be honest, attack will be recommended on every echo because you don't really need energy regen if you're just going full healer build. And yeah, so to be honest, attack on every echo, even the number 4 one. But like I said, you go whatever you want to go and whatever fits you best or whatever you're more comfortable with. Now let's get over to her sub DPS build. I'm assuming that you're gonna want to use this build as using Jiangxin for her crowd control, for her ultimate, potentially even her passive too. So obviously the best set that would be for a sub DPS Jiangxin would be Moonlit Clouds because of the energy regen that you're getting and how often you will be able to get your ultimate off. Not only that, as soon as you use her outer skill to swap to your, I'm guessing your main DPS, that character will also straight away get a 22.5% attack buff. So once again, this is like a great sub DPS build. You're able to ult more often with Jiangxin. You're able to buff your main DPS and get all of the enemies together. And then, for example, use your ultimate with Gao Sharo or Jian, depending on who your DPS is. And it just works absolutely great. Now, the main stats you'll be looking for in a sub DPS Jiangxin build is attack on the number 4 echo once again, because it just helps with her healing and shielding. Sadly, there isn't really a stat that could help you with ulting faster on the number 4 echo, so you're just gonna want to look for like energy regen substats on that. However, on the number 3s, you're gonna want energy regen because, like I said, you can ult more often, and even especially with the Moonlit Cloud, I don't know how much energy regen you'll get totally, but I'm guessing you'll be able to ult quite a lot quite quickly. And of course, as for the last two stats, or the 1 and the 1s, you're gonna want attack again, just because she's still a sub DPS, but you also want to, you know, improve her shielding, improve her healing. So yeah, so it's gonna be attack, energy regen, attack, and attack. Now let's get over to her DPS build. There are actually 2 builds you can use for a Jiangxin DPS. However, the one that you are going to choose is totally up to you. Now, of course, we have the arrow damage bonus set, which is obviously no doubt really good for Jianxin DPS. It gives a damage bonus, I mean arrow damage bonus. It gives an increase to her intro damage bonus, which is also really good because her intro damage is actually already quite good in my opinion. And yeah, overall it's a really good set, and mostly people are going to go for this set because of the arrow damage bonus. However, the set that I haven't been farming, but I will be farming for my Jiangxing, is actually the attack set. Now, you may ask why the attack set? If you couldn't tell by how many times I've said attack in this video, this is probably why. And yes, as a DPS, because I am well aware that it says that the outro skill damage is increased by 60%, which is a lot. However, Jiangxin doesn't have an outro skill, at least not one that deals damage. So that part of this set is really useless. However, the other stats, the passive of this set, which is while on the field, attack increases by 5% every 1.5 seconds, and this stacks up to 4 times. This is really good as someone who uses Jiangxin all the time. Like, I'm talking, she's on the field all the time, which is in my case. I know that I have Verena, I know that I have other characters, but I rarely switches to them. I rarely switch to them. So for your Jiangxing to be on the field and get that free attack damage bonus, not only will she deal more damage, she will also get a better shield and better healing, just like in the support DPS, support builds. But even though that the that the arrow damage bonus set makes you deal more damage, like you should always focus an element damage bonus over attack percent. However, in her case, this is a bit different because of the healing and shielding scaling she has, which scales with attack, like I said. This is why like an attack set is actually really good for her. See her as a bruiser character. You can just heal, shield, take damage, do damage all in once. So because of this, keep also in mind that Jiangxing is not a DPS. We or I am making her a DPS. She is not going to do as much damage as Jian will, as Cao will. This is because her multipliers aren't as high as that of Cao, Jian, even some other 4 stars potentially even have higher scaling than she does. But for that, she makes up with the versatility and the survivability she has in her kit. So of course, as a DPS Jiangxing, it is a DPS build, and I'm not gonna say she will not do any damage. She will. She has good scaling, just not very high as an actual DPS, because I'm pretty sure that Jiangxing is supposed to be a support or a sub DPS, but we are not building her like that. So make use of her shielding, make use of her healing, because this is her entire kit. It's not just her dealing damage, it's her dealing damage, healing, shielding, crowd control, her ultimate, her passive. It's everything in one, and that is how you make the most use of Jiangxing. Anyway, I'm getting way too carried over about explaining how she works. I'm pretty sure that by now you guys know how she works, and if not, just ask any any questions in the comments. It's absolutely fine. I'll try my best to respond to everyone as soon as I can. If anything, you can always join my Discord and DM me or ping me whenever you want to ask specific questions or anything like that. Anyway, let's get over to her substats and main stats that you would use or need for her main DPS build. What you're going to be aiming for on the number 4 is going to be either crit chance or crit damage, or crit rate as it's called in this game. You're going to want to hit those crits and make sure that you deal big damage. This is all up to your gear. If you have a lot of crit rate, try to go crit damage main stat. If you have a lot of crit damage, try to go crit rate main stat. What I always say is crit damage is useless without crit rate. And crit rate is still useful even if you have almost no crit damage. So me personally, I always try to go as high crit rate as possible, and doesn't really matter how much crit damage you have. But this is my personal opinion on how to build characters. I do this on everyone. I also just like the satisfaction of seeing crit hit numbers rather than just normal numbers. So yeah, like I said, crit rate or crit damage on the number 4 echo. On the number 3 echoes, you're gonna want arrow damage bonus. However, attack, especially on Jianxin, is also acceptable. But if you want to have a big damage output, then try to get arrow damage bonus. As for the ones, as always, it's just attack. Now, I will say this in probably every video, but everything that I just said, it is just a recommendation. It's just to help you out on how to build Jianxin. Ultimately, it's always up to you how you want to build her, what stats, what sets. It's all up to you. Whatever you prefer the most, whatever is comfortable with you, or maybe even whatever damage output you see the most in. Of course, I'm not a perfect human being, so I might have made a lot of mistakes in this video. There might be a lot of things that I said that were completely wrong. If I did, make sure to remind me or tell me, because I also want to learn on how to get the best builds for Jianxin. This is just all the information I've gathered so far from as the game has been released. So yeah, I would greatly appreciate it if you would let me know a mistake that I've said or made or anything like that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this helped one way or another, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Now, I hope that all of you have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.